Okay, go.
All right, thanks you guys for joining. This is June 26th, and this is the last Rally to Director call for the Issue Newberry organizations, and we're thrilled to bring this to you. I think you're going to have a great night tonight. I listened to the call from last week while I was in the airport on the way home from Atlantis, and it was a wonderful job that Terry Newberry and Tammy Johnston did last week. So thank you to both of you for, I know Terry is away this week, but Tammy, you're on, so thanks to both of you for some great information last week. We appreciate it. So I'd like to ask, I know that the last challenge at the end of the call last week was to see who would ask their hosts this last week to join their team, and also who would even ask if you could ask their friends if they would host shows if your current host decided to join. So I'd love to hear from someone or several. Wave if you did ask somebody this last week to join your team. Host or not a host? Okay, 4 of you? Okay, great. So real quick, I'd love to hear from all 4 of you. What happened? You're still here, so clearly what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as the song goes. So you're all 4 still here, yay. So let's hear from each of you. Real quick, what happened when you asked?
I'll go ahead and start. I asked my host, and she was not. But the great thing is, her sister-in-law is, and at that particular party, we got 4 bookings. So I told the sister-in-law that we have an appointment to talk tomorrow, and I told the sister-in-law she would start a business off with 4 bookings plus her own grand opening show.
Excellent. Excellent. Yay. Okay. One of the other 3. I can't remember. I just saw 3 hands waves.
I'll
okay,
share.
Jump in.
Okay. I asked my host, we talked about it before her actual show started several days prior, and she had never thought about it. And then it immediately was a no, hadn't thought about it. And then a couple days later, she said, "You got me thinking." And so then she signed. And so her show that we did together was her first kickoff show.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Good job. Congratulations.
So she had never thought at all about that idea. So that was fun to see the aha moment in her.
Excellent. And you know that does happen. And that is why it is so important to ask. I tell everyone to ask early and often, because the first response is high percentage of no. But if you ask early enough, you still have enough time to ask more often, a couple more times as they're thinking about it. And I'm just so thrilled that worked. That's awesome. Good for you. Kudos for asking early and often. Good job. Okay, and who were the other 2? Okay, go ahead.
I asked one of my hosts that's actually hosted before, who I didn't think like in a million years would ever want to do this, and she was like, "Yeah, actually, I have thought about it," and she joined. So
this was your friend, did you say in the beginning? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, it's like a friend of a friend, and she's hosted twice now, but I didn't think she'd be interested, but she was, and she joined, and she's got 4 shows lined up now. So
yay!
Doing good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
And Christina's only been in business for 6 months. Yeah. So this is her second time having a show with this lady.
Yeah. Congratulations. That is outstanding. And you know what? Just the other thing about that is a lot of times your friends are waiting and wondering to see if you're going to ask them. You know, if you're so excited about doing something and you don't actually invite or ask them to join you, then that seems more like you're just bragging about it. But if you invite them to join you and say, "I'm having so much fun. Have you ever thought about doing this?" Now they feel like you see in them something as well, and you're inviting them. It's like if you were in a room of 10 people and only gave chocolate to 3 of them. The other 7 would be wondering, why weren't they asked if they could have a piece of chocolate? And what made those 3 so special that you didn't, I wasn't one of them that you asked. So I think that it's important to invite your friends and family to take a look. And then if they say no, okay. They say, you know, no problem. Keep your eye on what I'm doing. And if you change your mind, and I may ask you again in a few months, but I'm not going to ask you all the time. But keep your eye on me and think about it. So, okay. And then I think there was one more. Who was?
I think it was Cindy, and unfortunately she cannot, she just sent me a chat message. She cannot, it won't pick up her voice. She can't get it, and so she said she did ask her host, and unfortunately she's not interested at this time.
That's okay. You're still with us. Nothing happened, right? You didn't hurt. It wasn't painful. Okay. And you'll do it again? Yes? Okay, good, good. Okay. So my next question is, we already went through the interview, so I think we've kind of covered that. I just wanted to review, I have some notes here that I took when I listened to the call that Tammy talked about last week with her 4 invites of joining, just to review. So in the host packet, at the initial host packet invitation, using the host kit coupon, so that's in there. So the initial ask, the wish list is a huge thing that Tammy uses. And if you get a big enough wish list, you have your foot halfway in the door. So basically getting that wish list set up and large enough, and also identifying products that are on the wish list that are in the kit, is a huge step into the door of inviting this host to join your team. The other thing that she said, and Terry reiterated, was to plant seeds and to water the seeds. So just saying something once, as we found out tonight, is not enough. That's why we say ask early and often. And I thought Tammy had some great tips at the show, her magic words. You know, if I were able to get you the bookings to get started, would you be willing to just give it a try? Basically, so you're asking for her permission if you can get the bookings. And you heard Wendy said she got 4 bookings, and now it's the sister-in-law that's actually joining. So, you know, your number one job, these are your 2 number 1 jobs. The sales are going to happen. But identifying your leads at your bookings and your recruiting leads is huge at the show. You're kind of getting paid to find new leads. And then the last thing that I jotted down was before she left the host's house with the tally sheet, and to definitely show all the benefits at the next levels and what they need to do in order to have her show be the best, as well as then using kit credit. So, and I know Terry's tip was to use the host planner, either the planners if you still have some, or the new folders. But in any case, or even if you don't use those, but to have a 40 guests in 4 minutes or some kind of sheet to get the host listing the 40 guests. She offers a cookbook at the show if you have the list of 40 guests there. And then afterwards to sit down and put a check mark, pull that out, put a check mark by all the guests that did show up or placed an order already. And then actually to take that a step further, and ask who on the list, because then let's say she had 40 names on there and 8 people came to the show. That leaves 32 more people for her to check with for orders. But also, who out of the people that were not there does she think might be willing to host a party and want to have some friends together? And who on that list might be someone that she should follow up with about joining the team, whether it's the host's team or her team and that kind of thing. Put a little $sign by the hosts because they'll want free products, and maybe a little heart by those that might be looking for a part-time job, and really work through the hosts list with her. So tonight our topic is overcoming, and well done again, Tammy. Thank you for all of your words of wisdom. So tonight our topic is overcoming objections. And I thought this was a perfect fitting for us to end our 4-week session on. And I know that sometimes we hear someone say, oh no, I could never do that. And too often we let that be the end of the conversation. It's really important to find out, well, tell me more about that. Or what is it that you don't think you could do? And really invite the objection, okay, from the person so that you can get to what it really is that's holding them back. And I always look at objections as really a question for more information. An objection is really a way for them to find out some more information. So let's say you name the objection. We have some rock stars here that are going to share their words of wisdom tonight, one for each of the objections that you posted on the Facebook group. But just a little system that I use is if I could show you how to blank, 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 Okay, and this is where I'm overcoming whatever objection that is. If I could show you how to work alongside of another job, if I could show you how to, whatever it is, okay, would you be willing to give this business a try? And the reason that I say that is because oftentimes that might not be their main objection. And if I ask that question, then they might say, well, no, really, it's this. Or else I'll say, yes, I would. If you can tell me how to do that, I'm in. So I think it's just a good question because it invites either A, their decision and they're in, or B, what is the reason, so that you can get to the bottom of that. Okay? So we have some people that are going to share, and I'm just going to go down the list. So one of the, and thank you for being so quick to post some objections that you've heard or questions for more information. So first, Tammy Lovely is going to give us her words of wisdom of overcoming the one that someone posted, I don't want to be pushy, I'm not a salesperson. So Tammy, if you take that away, that'd be great.
Okay, you get this a lot, and I think if I'm at a live show or even a virtual, I mean, if I've had a chat with the person, and usually I hear people tell me, oh, I had so much fun, I love all the tips and ideas, and I just mentioned to the person, I say, when you were at the show and you mentioned you love the tips and ideas, did you feel like you were being, I was being pushy or a salesperson, or were you just enjoying all that? And usually they're like, oh yeah, that's true. A technique I used that Becky taught me years ago was feel, felt, found. And I just say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. And what I found was by using the products in my own home, in my own kitchen, and loving them, it was easy to share that love for the products, just as easy as reading a good book or going to a movie and sharing with my friends how much I like that. So is that something you think that you would be able to do as well?
And I love that you ended that with a question, Tammy. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Is that easy, guys? It doesn't have to be 5-10 minute dissertation to try to move them to the next level. It's really about answering their objection and overcoming it and asking a question back so the conversation continues. So Tammy, just say it one more time for them.
I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. And what I found was that when I was using the products in my own kitchen and enjoying them, it was easy to share that with people, the same as I would if it was a good book or a movie that I had watched or read. Is that something that you feel you could do as well?
Okay, great. And I love that you related it to a good book or a movie. Okay. All right, awesome. So the next person that's going to share, we have Wendy Ben is going to share overcoming the objection, I don't know enough people. So Wendy, take that away.
I love that question. I absolutely do, because when I started my business, I really literally knew about 3 people. And one was the person who helped me get started and 2 of my friends. And so when I talk to people, when they say to me, I really don't know that many people, I always ask them the question, I ask them different questions. I'll say, so tell me a little bit about yourself then. I said, tell me, are you involved in church? Do you have a hobby? Do you have young children? And the reason I ask those type of questions is because I want to know who they're actually in contact with. Because unfortunately, what some people think is that they don't really know that many people. They don't want to have that many, BFFs. Okay, I don't have really that many good friends. But it's just, but they have a lot of acquaintances. So then one of the other things that I try and do is either walk them through. I say to them, can we just take a few moments and maybe we can talk about the different categories of, different areas of your life. And there's that thing we give our hosts where it's the 50 guests in 5 minutes type thing. You could walk them through something like that. Or even in the recipe for success, just take one of these with you, and it has all different categories that you can speak from right there of who they can possibly know. Because a lot of times I think people have to be their really best friends in order to host a show, when you can actually show them that, it's just a matter of asking people if they would be willing to host one of your first shows.
Great. Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much, Wendy. And And really, they can quickly see that, oh, I do know more people than I think.
Mhm.
Right? They're just thinking of who their very, very besties are. So,
Well, and one of the other things I do tell them also is when they have their first couple of shows, it's not necessarily who they know, it's who their friends know. And so it's about their friends inviting people to their party that you don't know. Because when my two friends had their parties, I asked them, I really encourage them to please invite the people I don't know. Because that's how I'm going to break out of the circle of family and friends. Well, actually, at that point, it was friends. My family was 3,000 miles away, but it was so, I was able immediately to break out of that. So that way I could then branch out.
excellent. Very
Mhm.
good. Love it. Love it. Okay. Liz Haggerty is going to share our next one. And I see that Liz is on here by phone. And so this one is that I don't have the money to start. And we hear that a lot, right? Oh, I don't have the money. Okay, so Liz, can you hear us and take that away?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, wonderfully. Thank you.
Okay, because I can't hear myself talking. So I usually start out by saying something, you know, if they say, gosh, I would really, really love Pampered Chef, and I would really love to sell Pampered Chef, but I don't have the money for the kit right now. So I will start out by saying, well, if there was a way that I could show you how to purchase your kit for less, what would you think of that? And so then, of course, almost always they'll say, oh, yes, you know, I would love to hear more. So I make sure that they know that when they host a party, they can buy down the price of their kit for as little as $75 or $74, I guess. And or they could, you know, they could get the large kit but still get it at a lesser price. Sometimes that works. If they truly, truly do not have the money to start, then I will ask them to kind of go through in their mind, is there any person that they could possibly borrow the money from until they get their first check? Because when they sell $12.50, just by having their first few shows, they can actually, you know, they will have their first check before that credit card bill would come in, or before, you know, they would be able to pay that person back in a really quick amount of time.
Excellent.
Occasionally, they still won't be able to do that. So then, you know, I'll recommend that maybe they could have a yard sale, or, you know, just sometimes it's income tax time, you know, they can use the money from that. So that does happen occasionally, but usually when I let them know that they can get the kit for less than the $159 or the $99, they're really excited by that.
Excellent. You know, I think those are great options too. You actually gave 3 options, and I like that you didn't give all 3 right at the beginning, but the first question just gave you the foot in the door of asking, if I could show you this, how to get the kit for less, would you be interested in chatting more about it? Rather than throwing the garage sale and the this and the that at them all at once. So I think that's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing, Liz. Great. And then we do have one more share that's scheduled tonight. And then I'm going to open it up for people that maybe have other thoughts and ideas on the objections that we shared. And that's Tammy Johnston. And she's going, I have a little list here. She's going to cover the one that says, oh, I'm too busy, or I already have another job. So Tammy, take that one away.
Wow, I am so totally impressed with everything that folks are coming up with. You guys are hitting the nail on the head. Becky absolutely started off right. That was the first thing I thought of. That's what I always start with is, if I could help you find a way to overcome that, would you be interested? Would you be willing just to give it a try? And that's all we're asking. Give it a try. And so with that being said, mine was too much going on, really busy, already have a job. How many of you guys have a full-time job? Show hands. Yeah, the vast majority. Samantha hit it on the nail when she responded and said, that's not really a valid objection. You know, full-time job, getting a master's degree, has a huge garden, you know, tons of stuff going on. If they really, truly want to do it, they're going to find a way. Plus, quite honestly, I have found that the busier people are, and I've done this for 20 years, the busier people are, those are the people who have 1 million contacts because they got little pockets of people everywhere that they can talk to about helping them get off to a great start. So yeah, you guys have hit it. I mean, I'm glad I was kind of last because you all hit all of it right on the net, right the nail on the head, without a doubt. So
Great. Excellent. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it. So there was 2 others that were posted there. One that I particularly wanted to cover, and one mentioned MLM and MLM network. So I wanted to address that for a moment because we are not a multi-level marketing company. We are a direct sales company, and there is a huge difference. Multi-level marketing companies, the only way to make money is through getting other people to sell. That's it. Direct sales, I can go out and do a show and make $100, $200, $300 without anybody else being on my team. That's direct sales, okay? So yes, there is a management level and an organizational level of helping other people have that opportunity to own their own business and have a store as such. Because each of us as consultants are store owners, and we can go out and show off our goods through the host home, which is our temporary store, and make money. That's direct sales, okay? So that is totally different. So if someone says MLM or this or that, I say, you know what? We are not a multi-level marketing company. We are a direct sales company, and it's hugely different. As consultants with the Pampered Chef, a brand new consultant can go out and do a show immediately and be paid for their work done without having to sign up anyone else to sell the Pampered Chef. You right off the bat, average $100 to $200 per show. Okay, so make sure everyone knows the difference there. And then someone else said the number of shows, and that comes up, like how many shows do I have to do, or what's the number? And I say, you know what, this business is flexible, but it's not optional with respect to the paycheck that you want. So the number of shows is directly related to the amount of income that you're looking for. How much income are you looking for from this on a monthly basis? Or even if you wanted to say, how much income are you looking for this on a weekly basis? Because most people think of work in a weekly 40-hour week, okay? And so if I can say, how much money are you looking for this on a weekly basis? Would an extra $100 be helpful? Or $200, you tell me. And then they tell me, and then I say, okay, that's 1 show a week. Okay, so I'm not going to tell them that you only have to do $150 to be active or anything like that. What I'm trying to find out, because you've got to help them dream. And so what I'm trying to find out is the number of shows is not set, but it's directly related to the amount of income that you'd like on a weekly basis. How much income would you like to come in weekly to help your family needs? What will that do? What will it go toward? That kind of thing. If you can build that relationship from the beginning, and don't ever feel like you're being nosy. And I would say that I'm not trying to be nosy in your personal life. I want to make sure that this is a good fit, that you're making a good decision, and that I'm helping you get what you need from this trial of the Pampered Chef. Okay, so that's really important there. So those were the other 2 that were mentioned on our list. I'll open it up for questions of, well, first, does anyone want to add something different that you say or do to any one of those objections? Does anyone want to add something? Great, then that means our trainers and our speakers did an excellent job. So kudos to all the speakers. Thank you so much for sharing. And then what I'd like to do is open it up. Were there any other objections? We don't want to get this, well, I have this host who, or I have this potential who, but just a general objection that you might need some words to go with. So then it means that we kind of hit on all the common ones, I think, right? So my next question, all of you, and I'm really hoping to have some interaction here because I can see that you're not sleeping. I see eyes open and smiles. So my next question is, how helpful has this been for you to have, maybe a short 4-week program with some information and trainers and that kind of thing to help you stay convicted to your business and to your goals? Okay, go ahead. Just introduce your name if you want to talk.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Love to hear from you. Thank you.
I don't remember was the first or second thing when you mentioned that many consultants say no for several times before they get to that final yes to trying the business. So I've kind of been using that mindset that it isn't just the first no. So that was huge eye opener for me.
Good, Kathy. Because most of them will say no. And so here's the thing: if you wait until you get to the show to do the
Right.
very first ask with the host, you're not going to see her again.
Right.
That's just that night. So that's why asking ahead is so important. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing that.
Sure.
Who else? How helpful has this been? Who else? Share something.
I think it's been a great help just knowing that there's support and people to answer questions when we have them.
Okay, good. That's good. That's helpful. We're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves, for sure. Okay, who else?
I think even though I've been in this business for, like Tammy, 21 years, it's always great to take training classes because you do always learn something new. Or if it's not something new, it's maybe reinforcing what you already know, or bringing back an idea that you've had in the past that has really worked. So I love the 4-week wonderful the trainings we've done.
Great. Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to share?
I love them. I feel like it's helped build my confidence.
Oh, good. Confidence. That's good. That's
I've only been doing it for a couple months, so.
You know what my biggest tip for that is? I'm telling you, this will be 25 years for me this October. And when I signed, I did not sign for business. I wanted the products. I knew I loved them, and that was it. It wasn't until the following year that I saw the big business opportunity and things, and I think I've shared with you about that. But my whole point is that I needed to hear over and over and over. So I was constantly at that time listening to CD, or actually they were cassette tapes back then, I'm sorry to say. I was listening to cassette tapes in my car all the time if I didn't have the kids. Now, I've gone through a pregnancy and 1-year-old and 3-year-old and all that, all these years, but if I didn't have them in the car, I had a tape on. So you can now download that to your iPhone or to your iPad or whatever and have that with you. And I highly recommend, I'm not kidding. It was every day.
Mm-hmm.
It was every day something that I was listening to. So I really want to encourage you to do that, especially leading up to conference. How many people on here are going to conference? Raise your hand so we can see. Okay.
I am.
And I know some of the ones on the phone are too. And it would be so important for you to do that when you come back from conference. Those of you that are not going, I highly recommend doing the live streaming and paying $39 to have the live streaming. It will help you get the big picture. It totally is what changed my business going to that conference. So the last thing that I want to share with you is we are halfway through a trip earning period right now. And I kind of get emotional because the trip we just went on was so fabulous. And it's been wonderful to earn a trip every single year after that first time that I did. And I think I shared at the beginning of this series, I didn't see myself earning a trip. I didn't even see myself having a business. And what happened was they were earning a trip for 2 years. I was coming into the business when there were only 11 months left. So I never considered it until there were 3 months left in the earning period. And I sat down and I said to my husband, oh, because I had recruited a couple people, I'm certain by mistake, or really by God's gift, actually. But I sat down with my husband and I said, hey, Bob, I could earn this trip, but I'm going to have to do 25 shows in 2 months. They all have to be $100 over company average, every single one.
Autumn.
I have to recruit 3 more people and promote to director in the next 2 months by the 1st of September. He said, go for it. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. What happens if I don't make it? And he said, you won't know if you don't try. Well, I was only doing about 2 or 3 shows a month or whatever happens. So I sat down. That was at that point, once I knew exactly what I needed to do, I could track it. And I sat down and called, I had only done 20 shows, I think. I'm not kidding. So I sat down and I called every single person who had ordered something from any one of those shows. And I said, hi, this is Becky Ishii. I met you at Wendy's party. How are you doing? Great. I'm calling for 2 reasons. First, I just want to see how you like your products from Wendy's. Are you using that stone? Or I would have their order in front of me. Are you using that food shop, or do you have any questions? Okay, no, great. The second reason I'm calling is I've decided to try to earn a trip with the Pampered Chef. It's something I've never done before. I'm super excited about it. And I'm looking for 25 hosts in these next 2 months. I wonder if you might like to be one of those 25 people, and I'll help you have a great night with your friends and get lots of free products. Do you think that sounds good? And I just made the calls until I found the 25. So it wasn't like, poor pitiful me, do me a favor. It was twofold. It was win-win. It was, I'm going to do this. I'm looking for these. And I wondered if you might like to be one of those 25, and I'll help you have a great night with your friends, a party, while earning lots of free products. Do you think that you could do that? You know, so that's the kind of thing I did. I'm sharing that because why not you? Why not you to be on all these trips? Each one of you certainly can be on all these trips. They're set up for anyone to achieve them. I didn't see myself there until, I don't recommend waiting till there's only 3 months left. Start now, figure out the numbers, and really set up a plan. Your director will help you figure that out if you need help with that. Or if they can't, I will, whatever. We'll all help you figure it out. But the reality is that getting there, half of it is sales and shows, and the other half is recruiting. And that's why we wanted to have this program to help you see that recruiting is an opportunity for other people to have what you have. It's a huge opportunity. Most people, household incomes are missing their bills by about $300 a month. So imagine if you could help someone, whatever it is, keep their home, keep their car, keep their children in a school that they want, whatever it is. Imagine if you could help them do that by helping them use the Pampered Chef as the means for that. That's the passion that I hope that you get from these calls. And I hope that you will figure out what is it that you would need from this point forward. And you're going into the busiest selling season, the fall, and you've got these amazing summer specials. So if you work your summer right, you will be primed and pumped and ready. So that's, I just want to say again, why not you? You can be a director, you can have these scripts, and you can have the big business that you're looking for to meet the needs of your family. I think someone asked about the fiscal year. I don't know because I couldn't multitask and look at it, but the trip year ends, it goes through the December this year. So that's why we're about halfway through. And the 2 trips that you could earn next year are both all inclusive. So both of them will be fabulous trips. It's a cruise. Of course, that's all inclusive. And the other one is to the Bocello Resort at Riviera Maya, where we were about 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was amazing. And it's all inclusive too. So I just want to encourage you to look at those numbers, keep recruiting as the other half of your business. They're equal parts. Okay, so when you go to sales and you go to a show, you're being paid to find your next leads, your next host leads, and your next recruiting. Okay, the sales will happen because the host coaching is where you earn your paycheck. All that's done before the show. And the show is where you pick up your paycheck, basically. Okay, and that's where you're being paid to look for your next leads. So when you treat this like the business that it can be, it's going to be that for you. And I just want to encourage all of you to make it be the biggest and best that you want it to be. So I hope I didn't talk too much. We're at 8:38. We started at 2 after, so I feel like we hung into 35 minutes. Any questions before we hang up?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your time with us. These 4 weeks have been great. And I could see us doing something like this again after conference, potentially. I just want to remind you that you are earning the new fall products this month and next. Don't miss by any little slim margin because I've seen them and I used some of them and you're going to want them. So the levels again are first level. What's the first level?
750.
750. What's the second level?
1500.
What's the third level?
3000.
1,000. And the big kahuna, what's the top level?
6,000.
6,000.
Yes, and you will love all of them. So you're tracking your numbers, and then July is a little bit different, so you can be looking at that too. So, but let's close out June with a big bang. You're going to want them. I'm telling you. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wendy, Tammy, Liz. I got to think of who else talked today. Wendy, Tammy, Liz. I think I got them. Did I miss anyone that shared tonight? And Kathy, yes, thank you. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Great times, great month. Appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.